Good evening, and thank you all for tuning in to Dana Being Dana on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Radio Station. I am your host, and I am so excited to welcome my girlfriend here, Angelique, and some of her friends. And we are going to talk about Just for Girlfriends. Just for Girlfriends is here, and they are in the building. You know, women respecting women. Very important to me. That's a part of Dana Being Dana.
Absolutely.
I have a ton of female friends, ton of girlfriends, and we all believe in respecting each other and showing up for each other. Pleasure to show up for my girlfriend Angelique.
Thank you, dear.
Shout out to Eddie Clapton.
Oh, yes.
Who is the one who originally introduced us. I was thinking about that today when I moved out to the western suburbs. He's like, you know, there is a woman who you should meet, and her name is Angelique. He introduced us. We got together, we hit it off, and it's been, it's been smooth sailing ever since then.
Absolutely.
And so I'm so excited about what you've been doing as your side hustle.
Yes.
Because we're going to talk about your main hustle first. Your side hustle, because that's what has us here today. And it is a movement. It is an organization. It is people who come together in support of other women. And I think that is so paramount and so important. So I would like for the panel, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. So what do you want to know?
Your name?
Name. So I'm Angelique David. From Cincinnati, Ohio. Came here for law school, Northwestern, and then decided to stay. And I live in Naperville. A chief operating officer and general counsel of an investment bank for my day job, and the founder and CEO of Just for Girlfriends for my side gig. So
fantastic. And we're going to dive all into that in a minute. But before we do, I'd like to introduce the other ladies on the panel.
Wendy, born and raised in the Chicago area and reside in Naperville now. I'm one of Angelique's neighbors. I don't have quite the impressive resume that Angelique has,
but you're awesome. You are awesome nonetheless.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, see, Wendy, she's not telling it all. Wendy is very awesome. Wendy,
she's super awesome.
Is a former zookeeper.
I am a former zookeeper. Yes, yep. And
you don't get those every day on Dana Being Dana.
No, yeah. And
don't poke the bear.
Right.
We've learned that tonight.
Yep. And now I'm working in small business with my family. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Wendy, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy to have you here.
Aww.
Yes, Pebs.
I am Sherelle Fuller. I'm born and raised in Chicago. And my day job is I am a director of strategic alliances for a nonprofit. And I am happy to be on Dana Being Dana.
Yes. And it's not being Pebble's best friend on the song Always.
Yes.
But
so
I
am the first African American on elected official on the school board in Downers Grove. So I'm part of that.
Which I just think is so fantastic. I think being able to represent, show up, first woman, you are a force. And I just appreciate you being here tonight. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Skinner. I am also from Cincinnati, Ohio. At law school. We both graduated from Northwestern. I am a partner at EM3 Law. Been practicing law for quite a while, but just recently founded a firm with some of my good friends and people that I've worked with for a while. And we've been open for business since October of 2017.
So Angelique, I want to start.
Sure.
I want to talk about you because we're going to talk about Just for Girlfriends, and we're going to talk about why it's so fabulous in just a minute. With you are a wife.
I am.
You are a mother, and you are a career woman.
I am.
How long have you been married?
A daughter and a whole bunch of other things too. Those hats just keep going.
All types of hats.
So I've been married 11 years now.
And how many kids do you have?
We have 2 kids. We have 2 lovely girls, a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Are they watching right now?
Bad.
They should be in bed, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
They did ask for the link.
I'm sure they did.
So my husband and I have an interesting story. He and I were actually high school sweethearts.
Oh,
but
Shout out
to high school sweethearts. But we didn't stay high school sweethearts. We broke up. He went to the Navy and I went to college. And we did our own thing. And then one day I was sitting there kind of bored at the law firm and I got on classmates.com. Remember that old one?
Yes.
Classmates.com.
It's kind of like MySpace.
That's right. I'm showing my age a little bit here. Right, I'm dating myself. So I get on Classmates and I see him and I say, hey, how have you been? What have you been up to? I haven't heard from you in a long time. And he called me and he said, let's go to Japan, still in the Navy. And we talked long distance. And then one day he said, I've got to leave. Can you meet me halfway? And I'm like, halfway? What are you talking about? You in Japan? What are you talking? Hawaii. So we met in Hawaii.
Wait,
in Hawaii.
Because I know Jerry and I love you, Jerry. You're so awesome. I appreciate how much you love my girl. To meet him in Hawaii.
Meet me in Hawaii.
Aloha.
So I said, okay. So I went to Hawaii.
Of course you did. And
we fell in love all over again, and we got married a year later in Hawaii.
That is amazing. And I think you guys are just such a beautiful couple.
Thank you.
Such a loving, friendly
He still drives me crazy
couple.
sometimes,
I know.
but it's okay.
It's par for the course.
They all.
It is par for the course.
But we love you men as you are out there listening, so don't worry.
We're going to get to the men. Don't think, Michael and others, that this is it's not just about women. We've got some conversation that we'll get to shortly. You also work outside of the home. You said that you are a general counsel for an investment
bank. I'm chief operating officer. Actually, I've seen a lot of activity come through LinkedIn because a promotion was announced. So I am now the executive managing director, chief operating officer, and general counsel of an investment bank.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And I just honored and blessed to just watch your career and all your success and all these things unfold.
Thank you. It's been a fun ride.
I think 2018 is your year. But juggling all that has got to be hard.
It is.
And I know so many women who are out there, who are here, who are out there in the same boat. Incredibly strong. They're incredibly talented.
Yep.
They've got a lot going on. They are all of these hats, right?
Sure.
Mothers, daughters, sisters, leaders, mentors.
Yes.
And so they often don't have enough time for themselves. They spend so much time servicing other people that they often forget about perhaps matters the most.
Yep.
And one thing I tell my kids is that, when mommy's together, right, then everything else seems to flow.
I can keep the house together. If I'm not together, everything else falls.
If mommy gets sick, you know what happens. You know what happens when mom gets sick, right? falls apart.
That's right.
First of all, do any of you feel like you have it all together?
No.
No.
And I'm going to introduce Robin. Robin, introduce yourself. Robin's on the phone. She's a part of Just for Girlfriends in studio tonight. But I think she is fabulous. She's on the phone. She's joining us. So just say a few words, Robin, about who you are and what you do and your connection to Just for Girlfriends.
Sure. I'm Robin McFarland. I've been in learning and development. I'm a consultant in that area for a Fortune 500 company currently. And, I'm part of Just for Girls because Angelique and Sherelle are my friends. And so before it was Just for Girls, we were hanging out. It became Just for Girls. So I think, I might not have been the first member, but I certainly was close to being the first member.
No, Robin, you were actually our very first paid member.
I was, all right.
You are.
Robin, you are the Harriet Tubman of membership for Just for Girlfriends. So we appreciate you being the leader.
We appreciate
you. We also appreciate all the men who are checking in. I see you, Hamas, Ronell, Clay. Thank you all so much. So we've got a lot of male support.
I love
Just
it.
for Girlfriends.
And you can always support your female, your woman in your life, your wife, your girlfriend by helping her.
I think that's very important, no matter where you are.
Your mother and your sister.
And your brother too. Your mama and your cousin too.
Right.
Me and you. Shouts out to Outcast. So I want to talk about this perception versus reality when it comes to having everything all together, because I think whenever you're doing something positive in your life, starting a company, starting a business, running your own business, being an entrepreneur, right? The perception is that you have it all together. And I think what I just kind of want to dispel a little bit is that it really feels like they have it all together. Seemingly they do. I think there is transparency and honesty. Yes. I think and I think that's part of what Dana being Dana is all about, is downs, there's good and bad. There's so many things that make us, and I just want to make sure, because I think you guys are a fantastic group. Intimidated, like, look at all these fine girls. I'm
right there.
Wait. I'm not a zookeeper, so I'm not sure that Just for Girlfriends is for me.
No,
but what I want to tell
for
them,
everybody.
Absolutely, it is. And I want to just kind of dispel that rumor that you don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be a general counsel.
Right. No,
you don't have to be president of Downers Grove, the mayor, right?
You sure don't have to be.
No.
Just for Girlfriends is for everybody.
Everybody.
Just for Girlfriends. That's important. So I want you to take us back to the beginning.
Sure.
Just for Girlfriends has been in motion since years ago, right?
Sure, yeah.
Years ago.
Informally of a group of my 9 closest friends. And I said, you know what? We're all stressed out and we're all going through a lot of things. Why don't we just take time for ourselves? We get together once a month. I would plan activities and then assign months to people. And the group started growing and growing because this friend would bring another friend and this friend would bring another friend. And the next thing you know, we were 9 to a group of 70. Now, planning for 9 is very different from planning for 70 because suddenly restaurants want deposits. You have to put up money. And so some of my girlfriends were like, Angelique, I don't know about this. Like, I was good when it was 9 of us, but I'm not putting my money on the line. And so we would miss months and people would call me. And that's when I realized there was a big need because people would call me and they say, Angelique, what are we doing next month? Why do we miss next month? What are we doing in January? And so actually Sherelle really encouraged me. She said, Angelique, you're really good at planning because I love parties. I've loved parties from the beginning of time. I love to plan parties. If I could quit being a lawyer, I'd be a party planner. So Sherelle said, there's a need for this. Why don't you turn it into a business? And I kind of hemmed and hawed. A difficult time in my life. So within a 9-month spell, I lost my father, my stepfather, my aunt, and my great aunt. And I was in a very, the most stressful time in my life. And on top of that, I was still, like you said, pretending to hold it all together. So I'm increasing in corporate America. Things are great, but I'm falling apart in the inside. So I'm having all of these medical issues, which I have learned stress will definitely create these medical issues. And they'll all tell you I'm already a hypochondriac, and I will openly admit it. So I'm in the doctor.
Or I would for her. So she don't do it all
We've talked about that. We've talked about that before. But stress, toxicity in your life.
It will
so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. Really going through this hard time, and I went to my doctor, and I'd done my Google research, and I knew that I was dying. And I told her, "Doctor, I am dying. My ears are ringing. I'm shaking." And she looked at me and she's like, "I think you're stressed." And I'm like, "Okay, you crazy?" Because I got physical symptoms. And I did tell her, I said, "I think you need to test me for Lyme disease."
Lyme disease.
With no symptoms of Lyme disease.
Oh, yeah.
And she said,
She obliged and took the money.
she obliged, and she said, "I really don't think you have Lyme disease, but it's a simple test. We'll take it." So we did Lyme disease test. For the insurance company, we did body scans. I had some MRIs and some things because I was convinced that I was dying. To another doctor because I didn't believe that doctor. I thought she was crazy. She needed to check her books out. So I went to another doctor, and the doctor sat me down. He was the sweetest man. He was the sweetest little man, this little Asian man, and he stopped and he crossed his legs and he said, "Angelique, I'm stressed and anxiety." And he said, "Patients like you, what I would normally tell them to do is to go away from everything for 3 months to Hawaii." That's right. Go back to Hawaii and get your groove back. But he said, "Just stop." It clicked for me for that moment, because I said, "You know what? If I'm dead, if I let all of these stressors, whether it's," and I love my kids, but just getting them to gymnastics and dance and this and that and education and get straight A's, all of those things, if I let that fall, none of this is going to be okay.
That's right.
So I stopped and I said, I have to make time for me. But throughout this journey, when I was having all these medical symptoms, I talked to my girlfriends and I said, "Oh, I'm having this." And I can't tell you how many people had the same thing. Same exact symptoms, just in different formations and different manifestations. And it resonated with me that we are all going through the same thing. And people that I thought had it together, I thought I was the only, and people would say, "Angelique, you have it all together. You have this and you're."
And I think, just like I said, when it comes to ups and downs, I think life changes you, right?
Does.
Absolutely.
You jobs, you change homes, you change spouses, you have kids, you make friends, you lose friends, you have parents, you lose parents. So many things happen to you in your life.
Right.
And oftentimes it's the self-care that gets lost in the shuffle.
You're busy taking care of everything and everybody that you forget to take care of yourself.
That's absolutely true.
And you have to take care of yourself.
And I think that is important.
Just forgetting, a lot of people feel guilty about putting themselves before their spouse or their job or their kids. We got to change that mindset. So
that's true.
Mhm.
And I think there's so many people out there who feel overwhelmed, feel alone. When you are in the shuffle,
yes,
if you're a stay-at-home mom, particularly I think if you've been in a career path and you elect or you choose to stay at home, I think that can be very isolating. I think just being in your day-to-day grind, right? Not feeling like there's other people out there who experience what you do,
right?
Who go through what you do. It's hard being in your role, in your shoes, in your position.
And then you wonder, are you weak because you're not handling it?
Right.
And you say, I'm feeling all this, maybe I'm weak. But no, you're not.
Right. But the women on The View just look like they've got it all together.
Do they?
And that's where Just For, I don't have time to watch The View, but that's where Just For Girlfriends comes in.
That's right.
And so one of the questions I have for you, is it just for,
Absolutely
is it just for
not. I don't think she's
suburban?
I don't think so.
She's the black delegation from last week's race show has claimed Wendy. The white people last week claimed Oprah, so we get Wendy.
Oh, okay, we get Wendy. Wow.
But is it just for black women? Is it just for suburban women? Is it just for professional women? Like what is the target marketed audience for Just For Girlfriends?
Women.
Yeah, women.
There you go.
And the one thing kind of you hit on is that all things are going on for all people. The things that you kind of spelled out, it isn't just a particular woman.
It's not a black woman that's only going through it. It's a white woman. It's an Indian woman. It's a whatever.
It's a stay-at-home mom. It's a It's a laid off mom.
I think it's for everybody.
There
It's
you
for
go.
everybody.
I
Some
think
of
it's
our-
for everybody.
We had a holiday party. Our oldest person that came was 68.
Get it, girl.
And our youngest one
Y'all want to
was
shout her out? What's her name?
Yeah.
Gloria. 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 It's amazing. Thank you. Yes.
And
No.
yeah, that was Gloria. And our youngest person that was there was about 20. Yeah, late 20s. Late 20s.
And that's one of the
that was
things.
me.
That is you.
Go ahead, Robin.
The mayor of Downers Grove. The mayor of Downers Grove is 21. Thank you very much. Robin, were you saying something? Did you want to say something?
No, I'm chiming in and laughing. But I will add that when you're talking about all women and the stress, I've lived in the city, I've been without a job, I've elected not to have a job and stay home with the kids. And I tell this story all the time. I missed out, or I felt as though I had what mother's guilt, right? And because I felt like I had to be at home with my children, or I had to be with my husband and things of that sort. And then I figured out that I was neglecting myself. And for many years, Sherelle would be inviting me to different things and different outings, and I would decline because I had, it's a common thing, mother's guilt, but it many times it gets dismissed. And I learned, as my life was shifting and as my kids, got licensed and they weren't thinking about me anymore, that I need to hang out. And what you guys say, but it's so therapeutic, this group. And I appreciate it more and more that I'm now more involved.
And by this time, Sherelle is of age, right? Y'all have been hanging out for years.
Yeah.
She's finally 21 and can have a glass of wine.
That's right.
That is fantastic.
How do you know the story so well, Dan?
Because I know I've read your bio on your mayor page.
That's correct.
Mayor. Now, there's a difference when it comes to women getting together, connecting. I think there's a difference between a group of women and people who are just polite. Hi, how are you? Great. So nice. I love your hair. It's so fabulous. It's not a fro, by the way. I see all y'all out there on Facebook. There's a difference between people who are just polite and a group that is inviting, a group that is engaging, a group that is connecting. Right. And I think that that's what many people crave in this as we get older, right? It's easy to make friends when you're 5 and you're playing in the sandbox. But when you're grown, right, I think people have a more difficult time and they struggle to make friends. So what kind of group is just for girlfriends?
I think this is a great one for Wendy, because Wendy actually is one of our newest members.
Oh, yeah.
She was not part of the 9. She wasn't part of Girls Night Out. Her first event was our Christmas party, December 9th. And she is a member.
Yeah.
So
Jingle bells.
So let's talk about it. So she's the best person to answer, like the invitingness of the group.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, into the Christmas party, it was a holiday party, sorry. It was, the only person I know was Angelique and her mom. And walking in there, I was like, okay, just gonna go and jump in and, meet new people. And people just automatically came up to me and were introducing themselves, and Angelique was like, this is my friend Wendy. It was like they were all coming to me. Had a great time, and then I decided that I was going to join because it was a group of women that were just very inviting and made me feel very comfortable, and I never felt like I was being judged or what are you doing here? We don't know you, or anything like that. It was very, very easy. And then went to the second event, which was
crazy. It was a ultimate fitness party with fitness trainer Tangi Brewer.
With focus on ultimate.
Ultimate.
Let me just put this in as the white girl on the panel here.
It was officially black as of now.
Hip hop workout, and I have no rhythm.
Wendy, can you twerk?
I cannot, and I believe everybody here could probably say no, she cannot.
None of us can.
I can't either.
I believe in your twerking spirit.
Right,
It will come. Just keep on being black.
I'll try practicing.
Don't worry. You're on your way.
People love that.
We'll teach you after the show. Don't you worry, girl.
So but I mean, it was hilarious. It was fun. I totally felt like I was in Hitch But yeah, no, it was cool. It was very fun, and it was, totally out of my element, not something that I would, do on a normal basis by myself, but it was great. It was so much fun.
Well, I think this life is about your element.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I love about you and your courage and your willingness to try something different, to try something new. Because
Right.
I think that that's what a lot of people need as we reach this age and stage in our lives.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with you, Robin, and I would like please tell us your connection. I just want to be specific about, this is the CEO and the founder. She's one of the newer members. Robin, can you tell us your connection to Just for Girlfriends and why you became a part of the group?
So Sherelle is, I call her kind of my screen catcher, or my, I hitch on to a lot of things that Sherelle does because she's so popular.
Of Downers
As
Grove.
the 21-year-old mayor of Downers Grove.
21. Don't forget the 21.
That's important.
She's the mayor, governor, president of Downers Grove.
Right.
There we go.
Sherelle happens to be one of my oldest friends from freshman year of college. Our really good friends, and our families and our husbands and kids and all of that are really great friends. And, again, Sherelle has a lot going on, and so she invited me to things. And lo and behold, she was like, I met this new girl. Her name is Angelique. I think you'll like her, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll go with you, Sherelle. I'll go.
I guess. I'll go.
Reluctantly.
I'll go with you, Sherelle. I'll go. And then lo and behold, there was Angelique, and we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
And Angelique is very easy and approachable, and we just start talking. All have so much in common and things of that sort. And I think our husbands met somewhere in there somehow. They get along, that sort of thing. And the girls' night out, and I want to say that was probably 3 years ago. And as the Christmas party came, we signed up for a month to host, or to help with some other folks to host a month. And then at that point, I was so looking forward to, I could join every month. And it also wasn't like if you missed a month, that was a problem, or because you didn't come or anything like that. It wasn't that way. It was on your own time. It was when you could make it, and everybody was still very excited to see you when you joined, which I liked. Because we all, everybody appreciated and understood that we're all very busy. So joined in, and then lo and behold, Angelique and I became friends. And I was like, oh, that's great, Sherelle, this worked out. She finally found me like friends.
Well, I will say that Angelique is somebody who is easy to be friends with.
Thank you.
It comes very easily and naturally.
But Robin said something that's very key. That's like really the key of Just for Girlfriends, and this was my mission, is because I'm part of so many groups that if you don't come, everyone's looking at you, or you're getting questions, why aren't you here? Just for Girlfriends is two things. You're supposed to take off all of your hats of mom, wife, forget about all that and just have fun. And number two, it's no stress. It's a commercial break from life, and then you get back to your life. If you can't make it, if you're there, we love it. We're glad to have you. So it's really a no stress thing. And Robin didn't tell the real story of when she and I met. Sherelle invited us to a dinner, and Sherelle was inviting a new friend that we didn't know. And so what Robin and I later learned.
No new friends.
Don't need no new friends. That's right. So what Robin and I didn't know is that Sherelle had told us separately, because we all are very, very silly. She sat me down and said, I got a new friend. Be good now. Don't be acting crazy. And then she had told Robin, be good. Don't be acting crazy. And we get to dinner, and Robin and I get to acting crazy.
Right. And we made good friends that night even.
Yeah.
Like we have some other
This
girls.
friend did accept them as they were. Yeah.
She's a part of Just for Girls. She's a member as well.
Yeah,
Member as well.
Well, Sherelle, do you want to talk about your connection?
Yes. So the one thing I want to say about is that I think Angelique and Robin hit on it. It doesn't feel like another obligation. We kind of talked about tonight that we're all wearing many hats. I look forward to going to the J4G because it doesn't feel like an obligation. And sometimes when we're overcommitted, it could be something fun that you're getting ready to go to, and you're like, oh, I don't want to dress up. I don't want to do this, because it feels like an obligation. You come, if you want whatever you want to put on, there are no rules, no judgment. You just have a good time. So, my connection, I obviously mutual friends with Robin and Angelique. And Angelique was just a person that you can have fun with. And we had that thing going of, you know what, it's enough rules in life. You know, we don't need that here. We want to get together and just laugh and have a great time. I am that person that show me who you are. I don't need
Authentic.
your pretense. Right.
Absolutely.
I love authenticity.
Yes.
Whatever you are, I can deal with it. Right? So I can deal with it. So that's my connection.
Yep.
My 2 cents as the youngest person on the panel.
I love it. I love it.
I'm the chicken tender on the panel.
And
I've
make
already
no
played
mistake,
forward. I've already
I'm the
played
youngest
pretty much
one
of
on the panel. But I believe in authenticity. And I bring it back to Angelique as your CEO and the founder of Just for Girlfriends, because, and she's my girl. And I think that make no mistake, trickles down into what Just for Girlfriends is.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be what it is without
Absolutely.
you, without your spirit, without your energy.
That
Like,
tone from the top, as they say in corporate America.
absolutely. And we know all about that.
That's right.
And as the mayor said, it's about that authenticity and knowing who you are. That is so important. And that's one reason why we love you. So, Michelle?
Angelique, I think, is my first friend that I met in Chicago. We both are from Cincinnati, but we didn't know each other. And
That
we
was in
met
1999.
1999, yes. So we, that's a common thing, you know. And so when she asked me to help her promote Just for Girlfriends, I immediately was very excited about it. And I had been going out with the group a couple of times before Just for Girlfriends was formed. I live in the south suburbs, so meeting a lot of new people, for the first time. And I have to echo what everyone else has said, but everyone welcomed me with open arms. And when there was a few months they didn't see me and I showed back up, they remembered me and hugged me. It was really, it feels like you're coming home. So it was a really good feeling. Yes. I am managing Just for Girlfriends social media accounts, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I want to read the mission of Just for Girlfriends, if I may, because you touched on it before, and I think it's true with what the mission says. And it says that Just for Girlfriends' mission is to create an environment for all women to embrace self-care by providing engaging experiences that rejuvenate the mind and soul.
Yep.
Moving her lips
I know
along.
it.
Of course you do. And I just thought it really resonated with me because I think that that's so true and so universal. Who hung out with Angelique and her boo in Hawaii, to the people who are here, to the members.
That's right, everybody.
I think that's just so important because I think that we as women, and this is something that's important, not just for girlfriends, but for everybody, the self-preservation, the self-care, and living your life in such a way that rejuvenates your mind.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I find as a mother, things that I do, and a professional person as well, when I take the time to rejuvenate, I come back better. I'm a better mom, I'm a better lawyer, I'm a better friend, a better daughter, a better sister, the list goes on. And I think that that's so important. Is that what you all feel coming from Just for Girlfriend events and being around other positive, supportive women?
Absolutely.
I mean, you come away, I'm just like you. So if I don't have an outlet where I can just stop and take a break and go take a break from me, then I am grouchy. I'm growling at my husband. I'm kids. Where's your homework? What's our big parent? Go to bed. I'm sending kids to bed at 7 o'clock.
But it's 4:30. What do you mean go to bed?
You looked at me wrong. Go to bed.
I love what my kids always say, but it's still light out. I hate daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time. That's right.
I realized I said that too much. My daughter, she probably was 2 years old, and she is sort of an introvert. So there was a woman that kept trying to get her to interact. And my daughter at 2 years old was like, "Are you ready for bed?" I was like, "Man, what does she mean?" I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I was like, "I must say that a lot. Like, if you get on my nerves, it's time to go to bed." Right.
But when you can take time for yourself and rejuvenate, and you're happy. And it's like, I don't really care if you're messing up. Come here, honey. You know, it's just, it brings
like
you down.
It puts the reset button.
Yes,
exactly.
You know, you're like, okay, like I just kind of had that outlet. I had that time to have fun and stuff going on at home, and hit the reset button, and now we're going to laundry and stuff.
So one thing we do, that's right, go home and fold laundry. Every year we have an annual spa trip. Our spa trip is coming up in April. I hope that you're coming.
Spa trip in April.
Spa trip in April. It was so funny. So the last time we went, my girlfriend, she says, oh, we get to run away from home this weekend. So it's called our run away from home weekend. So we run away from home and we do a lot of fun things. But when you come back, I will never forget the moment. We were all just sitting in a room and we had a glass of wine and we're all just sitting there. Because the first hour, you're still on edge. You're looking at your phone. You think someone's going to call you. And when you realize they got it at home, you can see the women relax. You can see all the stress and anxiety go away. And we were all just very happy, laughing, having fun, playing cards, being silly, listening to music with no obligation. No one was calling. No one was tugging. No one was checking emails, no work. It was nothing, just hours of time to do nothing and just hang out with girlfriends.
So a run away from home weekend in April.
Away from home in April.
Have you all set the date?
April 20th to 21st, that weekend.
Okay, write that down, everybody. Yeah. Just for girlfriends. Weekend. Location to be revealed. Stay tuned. That's awesome. And speaking of the different events that Just for Girlfriends has, about what your favorite thing about Just for Girlfriends is. For me, I'm a planner. I have planned out shows all the way to the summer, stuff for my kids, vacations. I'm a planner. Everybody who knows me well knows that I'm a planner. And one thing that I love, my favorite thing about Just for Girlfriends is the fact that the organization is something that plans something for you.
Correct.
So you don't have to plan, which I think is amazing, which I love, is because I'm usually the one like you plans the parties. And so I think it's refreshing to have something to do and to have someone else has planned it for you. So what are your favorite things about Just for Girlfriends?
Before they go, a lot of women that come just get a group of their girlfriends and say, hey, we don't have to worry and text about where we're going, what time is reservation, who's making this. They just come, buy a ticket and go, and they just get a group. We have tons of groups of girlfriends that just come because it's easy. It's planned out for you.
Get it. The nail on the head for me. It's absolutely not having to plan. I like to just pay and find out this is where I need to be, because as we've talked about, we get to plan quite a few things. So
and planning for a city is hard. It takes a lot of work.
That's exactly right. That's right. At 21, yes, it is.
Robin?
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a different stage of my life because I'm an empty nester at this point. Planning is over, and so it's not about the planning, it's more about the connection. I feel like sometimes I'm working so hard that I'm in a work mode, or maybe volunteering or doing some family business, things of that sort, where I have to be on, and I'm not getting to talk girl talk. Do that with Just for Girls, with all the girls, and that's how approachable the people that come are. I'm just thinking to last year at the spa trip, we had brunch for hours, a couple hours.
We did.
It was to get to connect with people. I mean, I had just met them the night before, man, but we talked about college, and we talked about high school, and we talked about music, and we talked about our husbands, and we talked about fun things that girls talk about and that you need to talk about with girls, I think is probably most important. So for me, it's the connection, because I'm still in the midst of, I kind of missed some of the planning because, the birds have left the nest, at least temporarily, I guess.
Eagle is soaring.
Right. So I really like listening to other women, and they're all different range groups, so they have different experiences, and what about this and what about that? And we did a lot of that last year, and it was just it was easy. So I appreciate the planning, but I think I appreciate the connections the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody else?
I think what I like most about it is the variety of things that they do. You would never get bored. If you came to every event every month, you wouldn't get bored with the activities. It's a lot of variety in what we do. January, like we said, we have the Ultimate Fitness Party. February, we're having a murder mystery dinner and a chat about estate planning. I mean, you can't get more diverse than that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I like to do with Just for Girlfriends is I call it engaging experiences. I've always liked to throw over the top parties. Over the top kid birthday parties. You've been to one. She's talking about when I had a zoo in my backyard and
she was a zookeeper. That's why.
That was
my favorite part.
Your lawn is going to be really messed up, Angela.
So I try to bring that passion to Just for Girlfriends. So it's never just going to be we go to dinner. That's not happening. That's boring. We can go to dinner. It's always going to be something extra. So, our goal for the year is to have 11 events. Holiday party, we give out so many prizes, we give away things, it's a game night, it's just really amazing. And then we have our spa trip, and then of the other 9 we have 4 that are educational, bringing things to women that they might not otherwise get, but it's always educational and fun. So our estate planning chat and murder mystery dinner are February. That's an educational one, because remember, I'm a hypochondriac and I think I'm a doubt, so I think everybody needs an estate plan tonight. Right?
Does Angelique have her will?
Right.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So I think everybody needs an estate plan. So we're going to have that over chat. It's going to be fun. So we have a murder mystery dinner. It's not going to be me that night. But we'll have a murder mystery dinner, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then March, an improv class at Second City. So come out and get your acting on. That's going to be fun and laughing.
Huge fan of Second City.
We're going to do margaritas before and then after for people who want to keep the party going, like because she doesn't have any kids, never wants to go home, so we always stay home out late, full of her.
After party at Robin's house.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to go to a Second City show about girlfriends actually that night after that. It's going to be kind of over the top. We're doing a photo shoot party this year for everybody who wants to feel pretty. We have makeup artist, DJ, photographer, hairstylist.
Veronica's here. She did my hair today. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Fantastic. So with all these, Veronica's here.
Veronica.
This is my girl. I love you, Veronica. You're awesome. And she is a sponsor and a big supporter. She is the stylist of Dana being Dana. Being here tonight. What is your favorite Just for Girlfriends events? You've talked about so many different fabulous ones. Can you pick a favorite, one that resonates? I know Wendy's is when she was twerking.
Yeah. That's exactly.
I don't know about that. It was fun. But...
Of course, it's given the opportunity to run away.
That's not which one.
Yeah.
The spa. Oh, the runaway trip.
Opportunity to run away and not be on the milk carton.
I love how y'all call it a runaway.
You get to run away from home.
The milk carton.
Yeah,
this is when the night people were like, I don't want to go back home. No, it's not time yet.
The funniest story was there were a couple women that were like, can we leave tonight? Well, I'm like, well, tomorrow at 11 a.m. you can go in the hotel room. But they were like, we want to leave now.
Yeah, they were trying to leave on Thursday night.
Yeah. So for me, that's my favorite because you get the opportunity to be away for a couple days and to really rejuvenate. And again, the fact that, if there are things planned, but if you choose not to do that, you can do it the way you want to do it. No obligation.
I just enjoy being out. So I could probably say that the roller skating was probably one of my favorite, like the spa.
The skating?
Did you say the roller skating?
The roller skating.
Painful. So much fun. I had done it so long, and I really thought I was 15 again, and fell and acted a fool on the rink, and injured myself, but it was fabulous. I had so much fun, and we back skated and we partner skated. It was just a good time. I think that was my favorite one, just because it was something I wouldn't have planned for myself for so long, and I thought it was a great idea. So I think that's probably one of my favorites.
I gotta tell a quick funny story. So we're one of the people who planned it. Actually, she's a doctor. She's an OB-GYN. And while we're roller skating, someone falls, and it stops. They got to call an ambulance for this guy. So we all say he's like completely shattered his arm. So we're like, you need to go out there. You need to help. You need to help. She said, unless he's having a baby, y'all, I can tell him he needs to go to the hospital. And we're all cracking up because remember, she sure did. Because you think, again, that goes back to thinking women all have it together and you can do everything. Don't. Like,
Right.
if you're an OB-GYN, you cannot fix an arm. So,
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
and she was very clear that she was not fixing an arm.
And nor should you fix it all.
Speaking of men, how have men supported Just for Girlfriend?
I'm babysitting and taking care of the home so that I can get away and not have to worry about, did they do the homework? Did they go to bed on time? I think that's a great support. Yeah.
And you know what? That's a great question, Dana, because I never have thought about how my husband has supported it. And he has not had any problems with it. I mean, it's like, where are you going? What are y'all doing? What time are you supposed to be there? So, because it looks as if it's something that makes me feel good.
Yes.
He's bought in.
And that he gets behind it.
Yeah.
I think
I never thought about that. But
there are men who support Dana being Dana. Just great friends, my boyfriend, other people who jump in and support the show, which is so important to me.
Right.
The first comments and the first people on Dana being Dana were men, friends. And so I think it's so important to buy into, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't do this without Jerry
Sure couldn't.
and his fabulous barbecue.
Yeah.
It's being served up at the murder mystery party,
That's right. Jerry Q. We have a catering company as well. So
which
he
is
does-
fantastic.
he
And
does
I
amazing
think
barbecue.
the support of men, supporting you, doing what you do, even just keeping the kids, which is huge, and holding it down while you do your thing
Yeah,
is paramount.
two things there that reminds me of is our DJ at the holiday party. After seeing all the women have fun and just he invited his girlfriend to come. So he was so supportive of it. He enjoyed what we were doing, liked the mission, and said, can I invite my girlfriend? I think she would really like this. I said, you can invite her. You can buy her a membership. You should absolutely bring her along. So I think that it's really key. Here's another one that you might not have thought of is the kids supporting the mission. So my daughter, my 7-year-old, and I didn't know how to feel about this because I was like, ooh, maybe I've been acting like it's too much fun away from you guys. But she comes to me one day, my 7-year-old, and says, I need your business card. And I said, why do you need my business card? She said, I want to give it to my teacher. And I said, what? She's like, she's in 2nd grade. She said, I told my teacher about Just for Girlfriends because, I think she's stressed out because she has 2 kids and we're a handful. And our class is a handful. And I said, she said, yeah, I told her about it. So I want to give her the card. So I said, well, this is a little creepy. My daughter's kind of selling Just for Girlfriends. So I didn't give her a card, but I later was volunteering in class and I said, she said, yeah, what is it? So I told her about it. She's like, that sounds awesome. And so our teacher is coming. So today she said, aren't you going to be on that show? Yeah. She said, give me a cup. I want to take it to my teacher. So now I was like, here, take your cup. Just go ahead and give your teacher stuff. So my daughter, my 7-year-old, is supporting because I think when I go and do this, I'm a happier mom when I come back.
Yeah.
She wants her teacher to be happier.
I think that's so important, though.
Yeah.
And I think, that to me, that is such a theme, which I think about because I'm a mother of a daughter as well, and just and the influence that you're making. Because I always say this: kids are watching.
They are.
Kids are watching what you do, what you say. If they drop an F-bomb, they got it from you.
That's right.
And so it's so important, conscious of the example that I'm setting for my kids. And I think you're setting such a great example for your kids about how to live your life.
Yeah.
Because I think too often people get mass consumed happens to them versus standing up and controlling their own life and making life happen. You said it, Mayor, making life happen. And I think that that's so incredibly important. So I think your daughter is very fortunate to have you as a mom because they get to see you living life. You're a mom, you have a career, you're doing things in the home, outside the home, but you're also living your life and you're having a good time. And I think that underscores for girlfriends and what it's all about. So I love these themes of collaboration, women supporting women, a group being inviting versus a group being polite. Women sponsors for tonight's show. and we'll get to them just shortly because I think they've got and some specials in their support of Dana being Dana. But I think it all underscores this women supporting women collaboration talking about. And so before we wrap it up, I just want to talk about one question I have for you guys is how important is it to say no?
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to say no. I think a lot of times if you over commit, under deliver. So it's extremely important to learn how to say no. And I think that's hard for women to do.
I was going to say it's definitely easier said than done. You know, if someone asks you for something, we're caretakers, so we're going to try to squeeze it in. But you're right, can't do it all.
No. You have to, or I mean, if you think about all of the facets of life that we have, at points you have to say no, or your plate runneth over. And so what I do for my
Not
husband,
your cup,
your plate,
but
your plate runneth over. So my husband, we stay in our lane. So we've got Angelique's department. So there are things, and if someone asks me, that's not my department. I don't know anything about the grass, the inside of. I don't know anything about that.
We can't help you.
I
We'll
cannot help
transfer you.
I'll transfer
Please
you.
hold.
Yes, please hold.
Right.
And it's important to be able to say no. And so what we also do is we separate who's responsible for certain kids' activities. I know nothing about that. That's his, because I had to learn to let go. Or otherwise I couldn't do it all.
And that's a very important lesson for busy women who are great members for Just for Girlfriends is learning how to say no. What boundaries do you set? Is anybody willing to share any boundaries that you set?
That's a good question.
I guess we're working on those.
We're all working on boundaries.
We're all working on boundaries.
Yeah.
We're all working on boundaries.
I get a point because I work from home. A lot of people know I work from home. And so it's easy for work and personal life to bleed into each other.
Yeah.
I come home from show day, go to bed, and I'm trying to set better boundaries about when I'm at work, even if I'm at home, I'm at work. And when I'm at home, being engaged and not being pulled into work. And it's a work in progress because it can be very tempting, especially when you're in your pajamas working,
So yeah,
to really be focused and engaged in one place.
You know, this past year, 2017, I turned 40. But on the way to 40, even though I know I look like I'm 22, just not.
I'm younger than Angelique. I'm younger than Angelique.
I will admit, I just turned 40. But when I was on I called it a road to 40. And this is kind of also what got me to go ahead and launch. Is I decided that from time I was 39 to 40, I was on my road to 40, and I wanted to be spiritually, mentally, and physically in the best place I could be ever in my life. And so I started taking yoga. I stopped worrying about dying. I did a lot of different things.
That helped a lot, I'm sure.
Staying alive. And Angelique is living, y'all.
That's why we're doing it.
She's gonna be here tomorrow.
Right. So we're doing estate planning. I'll be here tomorrow. So, I took that journey to really get to where I am today. But part of that was boundaries. And my big boundary is not doing things I don't want to do.
Right.
I would do so many things that I didn't want to do because I just needed to do it. And now I don't. I say no. And sometimes you got to push people out of your life that you don't think are good in your life, because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
But it's necessary.
But it's necessary for you. It's necessary for your self-preservation and self-care.
And sometimes for them, it's necessary. Because sometimes it's a codependency that's been formed that's not healthy for either.
Yeah.
So what can we expect from Just for Girlfriends in 2018?
Lots of fun.
Fun.
Say that again, Mayor. Just like that. Fun. Yes.
Laughter.
Did you see that?
Yes. Laughter, fun, excitement. We are doing so many things. We have the whole year planned out already. I'm so excited about the events. I think you won't have a moment where you're not laughing.
Experience a lot of growth too.
That's
You'll learn some things about yourself that you didn't know. A lot of positive things being reinforced. So
New friends.
Look at Wendy. That's so sweet.
We talked a lot about kids being moms, being wives. It's for everyone. So if you're not in the spaces we've mentioned, doesn't mean it's not for you. It's for everyone. I think the key thing we talked about is between women.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and it's
Yeah.
a very easy way to be able to go out and do something socially and fun, and like with these great women that are so inviting, and you don't really even have to really,
Know how to
it's
twerk.
so easy to say we need to get together,
Yeah,
but you just don't. So it's just
Robin, what were you saying?
I was just echoing what they say, and I also think, sometimes we want to get together, and it's got to be networking or it's got to be work related, and just as we've been saying all night, that is probably the best medicine, the best stress reliever. Being around approachable people, it's priceless, and I think we discount it too much. Health can help cure that. And I also wanted to add that when I go to work or talk to my cousin, story about Sherelle and my mother who wants to now come to Just for Girlfriend stuff, and I won't let my mother come, but
She's coming.
they're just right. That they're jealous when I tell them about all the things that we're doing. They're like, "Why didn't I know to do that? Did you advise me or what?" But now we have an opportunity with Just for Girlfriends, and the way that it's organized, for Eventbrite and things of that sort, where I can just forward things on. But I go in telling these great stories and how we laughed and how we had so much fun that not if you don't come.
I think that's right. And just like Essence Magazine, you miss you. So I think you can check out Just for Girlfriends. You'll see Angelique and all these ladies will be tagged. They're tagged in the video. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys. It's been great. I want to thank my sponsors, Veronica, who is responsible for my afro. This is my Whitney Houston look. I love it. You're amazing. You're fabulous. I love you. So thank you so much.
This is not a pro.
It's not.
Curls, not a pro. But I also want to thank my sponsors, all women tonight. Hidden Treasures Boutique, my girl Bobby. She's out here dressing the women for Shay and Nikita, who are out here slaying in these streets with their new hit Bravo show. www.shophidentreasuresboutique.com. 25% off using the code Dana25 through the end of the month. So please check them out. Great fashions. I've been wearing some of their stuff. It is fantastic. You'll love it. Very affordable prices. Also, coming up next week, my next two sponsors will be here in studio. Cynthia from Direct Sellers. They're offering a special of 4 bottles for $50. Her website is www.directsellers.com/Cynthia A. And all this is posted on my timeline, so you can check them out. Direct Sellers has fabulous wine. They sponsored the wine here tonight. They'll be sponsoring the wine here next week. Please check them out. Tune in next week, and you will see Cynthia. We'll be talking to her as well. And finally, my girlfriend Ramona, who is a chocolatier from My Chocolate Soul. They specialize in amazing all-natural chocolates. Using the code Dana Radio will get you 15% off. Have you gotten your Valentine's Day gift yet? I don't think so. So you need to go to www.mychocolatesoul.com. Their address is 4442 North Broadway in the city. Her chocolate is fantastic. She will be here again next week. The next week's show, it's called Sweet Ladies. Sweet Ladies will be in the building. My wine girl, my chocolate girl. We are going to have a good time talking about wine and chocolate, life, politics, and all other topics. I have some of the sweetest friends. Angelique's here. I just appreciate having all my friends here. Spreading love is a big thing that's important to me. Women supporting women, collaborating. So I just appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the sisterhood. It will continue next week. You are watching Dana Being Dana on IntellectualRadio.com. Thank you.